ACL with an audio check. WW7ATS testing.
WW7M, your test is KD7CYM.
Good evening, Dave. Glad to hear that. I hope I'm coming through okay. Look forward to the start of the net in about 8 minutes.
So far, you've got a great signal.
Okay, that's good. WW7M.
KD7CYM. Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that get together with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater, and it spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. There you will find the frequencies we transmit, and also you'll find a link to streaming on YouTube for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. We'd like to thank the Seattle Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR 147.8 for our voice transmission. For now, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact with someone else here on the 08 machine before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, 87ZYM. Hearing none currently, this is Dave, 87ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. So far we have checked in KF7UHK, Jessica, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, and Jim, N7QO, and James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, 87ZYM. Anybody else like to check into the net? Hearing none, let's start off the net tonight with Jessica, KF7UHK.
I'm Pierre Everett. This is Jessica, KF7UHK. Today is a successful day. 8 days into my bus training of driving Skagit Valley Transit buses. This is a 40-foot Gillig brand bus that I drove today. I got to go out on the open road. It was back roads, and they were narrow roads, but it was a lot of fun, and I got a compliment that I did pretty good. You have to make wide turns, and you can't if you make too shallow of a turn, you'll cut off people's noses on the front of their cars. But I did a fine job at doing this. So far up to now, it's been a lot of PowerPoints and a lot of training around parking lots with cones and backing between cones. So that's what I did today. It was a lot of fun. Going it tomorrow is, I think, a full day of more PowerPoints, which are just grueling, but we accept them. And we were learning a lot of stuff, cramming our brains with all the information it's going to take to pass the actual test with an inspector. So looking forward to that, kind of. Probably 6 or 7 or 8 weeks away before we actually go and try that with an inspector. And by then, I will be able to tell you everything about these buses and where to check for them and what you need to check for and all the keywords. So that's what I've been doing today. That's your man up there. It's KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, that's what it is. Let's put that Bob, K9PQ.
Well, good evening to the group. Hopefully my video's coming up. There we go. Today was a beautiful day. I got out a little bit earlier today, and then a friend dropped by, and we played Escape Room the Game, it's called. You've probably heard of Escape Rooms. This is a box game that you buy, and you, instead of being in a room, you've got basically a picture of the room, not a photograph, but a drawing with all kinds of hidden things, and you get to figure out the puzzle, basically. And it's very, very difficult and tricky. Between my friend and I, we really struggled, but after several hours we got there, and that was just one of the 4 games. So we've done a couple before, and we've got a 4th one still to do, but we're not going to try and start that tonight. So he's still around hanging out till after the net, and then we're going to have some dinner. So with that, I'll send it back to Nick. K9
K9PQ Bob, thanks for joining the net. Let's present Richard and Kent, K7ATS.
We're squared away. Yeah, that sounded like a fun game, Bob. Those kinds of things, especially when they're computer-oriented. I was very early into PC games. The Legend of Corandia was really the one that got my fancy, and the whole family ended up playing that. I mean, literally, the kids and Debbie and the YL. So, yeah, what a beautiful day today. But I actually have kind of a puzzle, like you're talking about puzzles, Bob. So just imagine, this is true to life at my house. Every time you would flush the toilet in the hallway for the guests, it would make this, it'd take a while, you'd flush the toilet, and then fine, you could, hear the water running, and then usually about 20 seconds, 35 seconds later, you hear this, and believe it or not, I put up with that business. You guys know me, I'm kind of a procrastinator, but I put up with that business for about 3 months, and so if anybody can, it's pretty loud. Sounds like like some kind of a musical instrument almost. And I'll give you one hint. It eventually, so this occurred in, this all started with the cold snap, when everything was, practically 5 degrees outside. But whether it had anything to do with that, I'll leave that up to you. But the last hint I'll give you what it could have been is it did result in the toilet area leaking. So, so don't guess that it was the toilet. Just kind of guess how a toilet could make that noise and leak at the same time at some point. K7ZON, K7ITX back to net control. K7ITX, that's with that, and the net acknowledges me, and 7KC has joined us. So coming up next is Wade, W7ITL. W7ITL here, welcome back, I guess, for myself. Yeah, I'm trying to switch myself in here. Let's see if it'll let me. Let's see. Let's try this again. Not letting me. Hold on. W7ITL here. I think there's something going on with Hamlan. The video on the screen is frozen. But it's nice being back and seeing everybody after a few rounds of not being online. Well, there I am. So let me go do some show and tell, because I did go to Canada over the weekend and I took some pictures. So let me switch myself in so we can see those. That's not what I wanted to show. There we go. So So that is, of course, the Black Ball 30 terminal in Port Angeles. And this is just leaving. And then we got the video here. Let's see if it'll play the video. So, yeah, this is just taking a little video clip of me leaving the terminal. Just kind of scoot along here. So, go to the next one. There we go. Kind of, we'll go through them all. Not looking as good as it does on the screen. That's, so this is Victoria. There's Chinatown, downtown Victoria. Here's a penny mural. It's just a bunch of Canadian pennies in the shape of a dragon. And here's the harbor there in Victoria. I don't know what the harbor is called. There's some ships. Just run quickly here. Yeah, that's it. So thanks for letting me share. Let's see if I can switch myself back to video. There we go. Hey, thanks guys. See you on the next round, and it'll be coming out soon because it seems like there's quite a few people not in tonight. So I will turn the net back to Dave. W7ATS back to net.
W7ATS, Wade, thanks for that. And it's ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Bill Aitken on 87 CYM. This is dedication to Jet N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. I'm not sending video tonight. My wife is using a computer that has the camera. But I see everyone. Okay, lots of snow on my 1.2 gigahertz downlink, but that's me, that's my problem. Well, okay, I can elaborate on that, but I won't. Let's see. Wait, Black Ball Ferry. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I did Victoria one time. I think that was a lot of fun. My wife wants to spend the night there sometime and see that Bouchard Gardens, is that what they call it? The last time we were there, we just barely got to look around. Quite a bit to see up there. Dick, flushing toilets. Are you one of those fellows who teaches your cats to use the toilet? I don't know, but somehow it has to be Mika's fault. That's my 2 cents. Jessica, 8 days driving? My goodness. Question on that. Do they teach you when you're making a right-hand turn at an intersection, do they want you to go a little bit to the left before you take the turn? Just curious about that. And let's see. Bob, Escape Room, PC Games. Wow. I don't know why. I never quite got around to a whole lot of PC games. When I was in college, they just came out with Pong. And the fellow in the apartment next to me was also an electrical engineering student, and he built this Pong game. So there on my television in my room, I kept seeing this Pong game in the background. It took me a while to figure out who was creating that problem, but anyway, but the only thing I ever did is Pac-Man. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, Jeff, thanks for that. Let's go to Bellevue, to James, WU7N.
Connected, N7KC. really strange. This is an interesting thing to continue to play with here. Well, Jessica, your bus tails are exciting. That was a pun. I saw your background pictures there. It looks actually quite a bit to it. And when you consider you've got about the same responsibility level as like a regional airliner or something, that's quite a bit of responsibility too. So I hope it works well for you. Bob, my nephew did the escape room thing, but did it with the real, actual physical room. And I also have another friend who tagged along with his son and a bunch of friends. And he just kind of sat there and watched them really get into it. He said it was more fun to watch them than it was to actually do it. But so I don't know, maybe it's a good spectator sport too. Yours is the first one I've heard where it's a virtual escape room, which is a good idea. I'm not going to thought of that. Richard, the only thing in the bathroom, I've got a story for everyone. Okay, so I've got this little moldy spot. My entire upstairs bathroom needs to be ripped out and redone, and I'm going to be doing that one of these days. It's got a little tiny moldy spot, and I noticed there's a giant spider that's been living there for a few days. And I'm sure it's my imagination, but it just seemed to be getting bigger and bigger with each passing day, and my foot was passing over it. So I thought, it's time to probably evict this spider. It just sits there and hangs out, doesn't do anything. So I thought I put on some nitrile gloves and get the spider jar ready, and see if I could gently pick it up and put it in the spider jar and throw it outside where it belongs. That little critter exactly knew what I was coming for it, and actually made a little noise as it scurried off into the crack with its little feet on the crack on the tile. I could actually hear it scurry off. So now I want to know if it's taken this personally, because my foot still passes by that space frequently with absolutely nothing on it, or if we're just going to, kind of forget this whole thing. I don't know. I'll keep you tuned, but it's a pretty good spider, so we'll have to see. Ray, thank you very much for the pictures from Canada. Those were exciting. They were good lighting. Very vivid color on that. Kind of curious to know what you took those pictures with. And Blue Star Gardens, I remember going there as a kid. Wow. So it's still there half a century later. Amazing. So anyway, that's it for me from James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue. Let's turn back to Dave, KD7ZYM on that control.
WW7N, James, thanks for that. This is Dave, 87CYM in Lake City. Let's see, I've got 58 degrees, partly cloudy out there. As soon as the sun went down, it's in the process of going down, it certainly got overcast here. And let's see, computer games, gosh, I go way back to Tetris in my first computer game. And that was kind of fun to do, but didn't do Pong, which I didn't consider a computer game. That was a device you hooked up to your TV set and didn't really use a computer, but probably there's some chips involved in making that happen. And let's see. Richard, sounds like you might have a sticking valve in your toilet flushing mechanism, and from that you could take LPS and spray the head down flushing mechanism, and might loosen up that valve and then have to cut off rather abruptly instead of doing a shutdown. So that'll be kind of good. And let's see. Wade, and thanks for the pictures from Canada. That's the first Canadian stuff we've had on the air, let's say, in quite a while. And Jessica, oh my gosh, keep those wheels on the bus going round and round, and I'm sure you'll get your permit or your license here very shortly. And I'll volunteer to come up and go for a ride with you once you get your license. No ride-along before. And that's about it. And let's see. Let's go back up to the top of the list to Jessica. KF7, UHK.
KF7, I'll take you up on that. Sylvia and our friends want to do the same thing, want to jump on the bus and take a long ride up to, Cedar Lilies, I think, are longest route. But I think the Anacortes one's a little bit prettier. James? Yes, absolutely. It's like you have to know all these different things to tell the inspector, so it is like flying an airplane, and you have to have everything just right, and every time you get on that bus to go take it, you've got to start off with turning on the power, because the power is turned off like on a great big main switch that you throw, and go through the checkout procedure and make sure everything that you normally would tell the inspector is all correct and right. So that's kind of nice. And then Jim, we don't do the swing out to make a right-hand turn. We've been learning 90-degree turns in our 40-foot bus, just in case you don't have a place to swing out to the left to turn right. So you do sometimes go over into the far lane as you're making that right-hand turn into the other lane while you're trying to round that corner. But like as our instructor says, if it won't work, you just stop right there and wait for things to move around so you can go ahead and go, as opposed to backing up and risking backing up. You just don't normally do that, especially with passengers aboard. So that makes it really, really exciting. So we've been learning these 90-degree turns to the clockwise and then to the counterclockwise. And then we added in using our turn signals correctly, because our turn signals are a button on the floor, just like your high beam and low beam. Well, there's a right and left button just like that for the turn signals. So we've been adding those in. And fun fact, you have to make it blink 3 times to be legal, at least in this test. So it has to blink 3 times before you can make that turn. 3 more. Wait, Black Ball Ferry. Have you heard the Black Ball Ferry song? Look it up, Bing Crosby. You can find it on Google. Just look up the Black Ball Ferry song. You'll find Bing Crosby. It's a really cute song. It names off all the different ferries that were put out back in the day. And that's pretty cool. And I kind of thought that our ferry system here are some of the old Black Ball ferries, which is also, I think, really cool. I'm not sure of that, but that's what I think. Other than that, that's all I get this time. KF7 UHK.
KF7 UHK, Jessica, thanks for that. And time to ID again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. That's on the 08 machine. Let's go to Port Angeles to Lee in 7KC.
Okay, testing. In 7KC, we're in Port Angeles. Good show. Well, very good. So number 1, Jessica, ask him if he can take the bus home for the weekend. You could have some fun with that. And Ray, doggone it, it's obvious to me that you were in Port Angeles and didn't get a hold of me. You know, it looks like you took the Coho over. I saw a pilot boat there, moving around the end of the hook and so forth. Anyway, if I'd known you were here, well, I would have looked good. Anyway, yes, I trust you had a good time in Victoria. Everybody does when they go. You know, it's a nice spot. It's been really chilly up here, though. My gosh, you know, it was cold in April, and it's continuing right in that vein right now. We kind of thought that we got to May and we'd turn around, you know, and we'd start to warm up. But not yet. I don't know why the Echo Link, say 7QJ was a little slow and coming online tonight. It's the slowest that I believe I've known it to be. And I thought, you know, Richard's going to have to turn the gain up or something, or turn on the sound. But I'm hearing Echo Link pretty well. And James, you look pretty well too. I guess you're through all your stuff. And I go with one of my good friends here in Port Angeles. He just lives out of town here. His wife got sick. And then his sister-in-law, who lives with him, got sick. And they tested positive for COVID, and he didn't. And tonight I talked to him on our 10-meter water hole down here, and he says, I've got it. I tested positive, and he wasn't feeling very good. But they're all boosted. They've had everything, so I think they'll be okay. He says his wife and sister-in-law are coming out of it and feeling much better. But he feels miserable, but he says that he thinks he'll be okay. On our time, this is the 7KT. Back to that, Dave.
And 7KC, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Thanks, Dave. Well, Lee, sorry to hear it's still cold there. It was sunny and about 60 today, just beautiful outside. Yeah, for those that I think got the impression this was a computer game, it's not. It comes in a box, completely self-contained, and the room, the escape room is just on a piece of paper. It's all very nicely illustrated. And that's sort of the room that you're working in. It does have a little electronic box that comes with it, a little kind of cheesy, but it works to allow you to put in the code when you figure out the answer, and then it will give you a nice boop boop sound saying you got it. I just wanted to, regarding your captain and the Machiavelli quote, always assume incompetence the truth. I'm going to be off to dinner with my friend 73 and Betty. Have a good night.
K9PQ, Bob, thanks for that. The last 20 seconds, a lot of QRM coming in on your signal, so we didn't really hear that too much, so just for your information. Now let's go on down the line to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, there we go. Had some feedback going, yeah. Well, yeah, thanks a lot, Bob, for clearing that up. Sorry if I created a misconception regarding your game, but it does sound like a lot of fun. Yeah, and we did, at least I picked up you had dinner to go to, so that should be fun. So thanks for showing up when you did, though. It's always great to have you around. Geez, what a bunch of topics tonight. Victoria, the bus, the spider. Oh my God, I got a great spider story. But, this toilet situation with the weird horn, like, so, what it actually turned out to be, I never heard of this before, but the toilet tank had cracked. And so, the only thing I can think of, maybe the noise from the valve caused the toilet tank to crack. I don't know. I just, so ultimately what happened was the crack finally let go and water started leaking out of the toilet tank. And thank God I was home, because wouldn't you know it, the water leaking out of the toilet tank crack was coming out at exactly the same pace as water trying to refill the tank, because the flapper is closed. It thinks it needs more water because the ball cock was going down asking for more water, but since the water was filling up, or the crack, or the leak was the same speed as the water filling up, basically it was going to be one of these horrific weeks if you weren't home, where it would just keep coming out, and the water would just keep pouring out of the crack, and the tank would never get empty, is the problem. So, and I always wondered how people would get it out because the toilet's failing. And because I always found, well, the water will just go down the drain into the tank. I mean, what could go wrong? Well, if the tank's cracked, I guess that's what could go wrong. So, how it cracked? Good question. And what was that weird noise? I'm just thinking it was the crack. And it finally just vibrated itself to an opening enough to leak like crazy. So, anyway, that's enough of that. I really wanted to make a comment about the spider and Beth, if no one else adds to the topics by the next time around. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. And ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, K7ZYS for an ID. Let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
Alright, well this is W7ITL. Let me see if I can switch myself in, if they'll let me. So many good stories tonight. Let's see. Yeah, so, you have to, I'm trying to think. Yes, the toilet, that's interesting. I think I've seen toilets do, or heard toilets do that whining sound before. At least I think I remember something like that happening to me, or heard it from the past. And then I wonder, Richard, if that actually caused it, the vibration of the valve. Well, or maybe it's just a defect in the tank. But who knows? Could be other factors. Could be expanding, contracting over as many years, and then it just finally cracked the pot. So, let's see. The game, the breakout room, what is it called, the escape room game? I haven't played that one yet. It's interesting they have an interactive component where you type in your codes into other sound box that tells you when you get it right, so that's cool. Let's see, Lee, sorry I couldn't meet up with you. I did come in quite late on Thursday night, so I didn't necessarily know if they were doing something for us to be able to meet up at that time. But I see at the Cedar, the Seven Cedars hotel, the first night before we got into the Atlantic, so that was it was a really fun time. We had let me go for a second. I took the main purpose of the trip was to take my daughter somewhere nice for her 16th birthday, so we thought Canada would be a good thing. We haven't been there in a long time since the whole COVID thing, so it was something we just wanted to try out, and we went there. So yeah, maybe next time we if I come a little bit earlier or leave early, I could meet up with you and we could see each other in person. Alright, well I think that's it for me for this round. Don't know if I'm going to make it to the next round, but we'll see. W7ITL, back to that.
W7ITL, Wade, thanks for that. Let's go to Covington to Jen, N7QO.
Thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Someone was commenting about the weather. Yeah, absolutely beautiful day. Matter of fact, I was running errands let's say more than half of the day. Right now, I have 62 degrees down here near Covington, and that's at like 8:30 in the evening. That's I guess this was a day to enjoy. The days which are forthcoming are going to be less pleasant, but oh well, it's Seattle. Let's see. Dick, it is really fortunate that you averted that disaster. I had a friend of mine whose toilet valve somehow got stuck. I don't remember exactly what happened, but her toilet overflowed and messed up the floor big time, and it was a big mess. Jim, spiders. Yeah, I've got problems with spiders around here too. Fortunately, I don't have anything that monstrous, but my solution is always employ chemical warfare, and I think that's or at least if you're going to go after them in a pleasant fashion, have the chemical warfare mechanism available as an alternative. That's my thought. KD7ZYM and 7QO.
And 7QO, let's go to the settings and WW7ATS.
Okay, so we jacked up the power on this. I can't believe this is working better than something that's putting enough RF out in the room to actually trip something in the room. Maybe it was a GFCI, I'll have to figure that out. Well, anyway, if you guys can hear me, that room game sounds more like a puzzle that you do as a group. It sounds very interesting. I'll talk more about that. The common disaster, water disaster with toilets I know of is usually something goes wrong between the hole in the wall and the supply hose to the base of the tank, because that just comes spraying out. I think that happened to Lee once, didn't it? But that's usually the toilet water disaster. Let's see, congratulations to Wade's daughter, 16th birthday. That sounds like a very fun trip. Congratulations on that. And what I was saying to start with was, when it comes to the chemical warfare with a spider of this size, I think it's like Russia and the Ukraine. I don't think I want to cross that red line. I'm not sure how it would retaliate. Keep in mind, this spider's almost big enough to use my toothbrush. It probably just is not doing that just as a courtesy to me. I'm hoping we can just go to the negotiating table and work this out. So anyway, since I guess I'm on a handheld now, I will go ahead and turn this back to Dave, our net control, 87ZYM, and I'm just curious to know from Dave what it was like.
Oh my God, the sound would come across pretty good. This is Dave, 87ZYM, and I do town again, I can't believe it. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the OA machine. So let's see, the day I went out and did some junking, and I came by an ultraviolet wand for disinfecting. When I read the directions of it, it's almost like snake oil. It can cure everything. You run it across countertops, you run it across the toilet bowl, you run it across the bedding in your bed, and they say it gets rid of bed bugs and any other vermin that are nesting on your bedding. And they did caution, do not look at the light, and there's a safety switch on it. It has to be pointing down and held about 2 inches above the surface of what you're waving the wand around. So anyway, did have to take a peek to see if it was working, but that was off a reflection off a piece of white paper to see that the purple light was glowing, and which it did. So anyway, I've got the latest now in snake oil to take care of problems around my house. So this is Dave, 87DYM at Lake City. So let's go back up to the top to Jessica, KN7UHK.
It's like the red light LED therapy. It'll take care of all your ails, I'm sure. Escape room puzzles. Yeah, no, I don't like puzzles. I'm really terrible at puzzles. Sylvia bought me some little metal puzzles that are all from the same company. I think she bought me about 6 of them at Christmas time, and one by one I got to open these things, and we have to try to make them work, and we wouldn't go on until we could solve it. And they're frustrating. Oh, they're frustrating. You have to get it just right, and you can look all the information up on the internet to find out how to undo these puzzles, which I won't say I lift, but I lift. James needs a spider. Yeah, I don't like spiders. Spiders are usually get the foot somehow. You know, I don't tinker around. I just go right for the hammer foot onto spiders. I don't like spiders. I was somewhere where we were talking about spiders in like Central and South America. They get very, very giant, and those sound scary. Those sound like if you want to squish them with your foot, they have a really good boot on to get to them because they're so big. So yeah, that just bothers the heck out of me. Someone told me in Belize you have spiders with glowing red eyes. I don't doubt that. We've been to Belize twice, but I never went to the jungles at nighttime. That's for sure. And toilets, our A-frame. One year we must have left a little bit too much water in the toilet when we went away for the winter time because it was 3,400 feet up in Tenasket, and that toilet broke like someone came in and hit it with a sledgehammer. Just all of a sudden there was a couple big pieces on the floor. So toilets are they're porcelain. They're like a piece of pottery, and so they do break. It's 42 minutes after the hour. KF7UHK.
KF7UHK. Let's go to Lee, M7KC in Port Angeles.
Okay, M7KC here in Port Angeles. There are a lot of good stories tonight. I'm a little saucy when it comes to spiders. If we find one in the house, we capture it in sometimes a vessel with a mouth big enough and a piece of paper, and you can wheel around trying to get it inside, and I take them out. And we had a year ago, January, we had where I was sitting, the hose that went from the wall to the base of the water closet on the commode. Our water pressure here is really high. It's like 95 to 100 pounds. And the hose was one of those woven metal hoses, but it had plastic ends, white plastic that were hand tightenable. And when it broke, the thing was still screwed on to the fitting at the base of the water closet. So just the flange broke off, and so the valve was wide open. Paul and I were both home. I was in the radio room where I am right now. It was a contest. I was deeply engaged, and I had headphones on. Never heard a thing, and yet it was making all kinds of racket. Paul was downstairs someplace, or in the sunroom, and she didn't hear it. And I turned around in my chair in the radio room, and the water was almost up to my chair here, right in across the hall, and it was going down the stairs, cascading through the stairs, down and below, into a big, it was awful. Awful. And when I went in the bathroom there, and that hose was flying around, without all water pressure, and it was just spraying that stuff every place. So I got it shut off, and then the big cleanup started, and then drying everything out. Goodness sake. No fun. But it didn't really hurt anything, but we were home, and we've been gone I can't imagine the damage that would have been done to that darn hose. So I put a new valve in, a ball valve that we could both operate, and what we do when we leave the house, we turn the water main off, and so forth. Anyway, with that, I'm done. This is M7KC. Back to you, Bill.
M7KC, oh my. What a wet story. Let's go on down to Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah, Lee, I was lucky I was home, and I don't know, the bathroom I'm referring to is just across the hallway from the shack right here, and it was the first thing in the morning, so, I was just finished my first cup of coffee, got up to probably get rid of some coffee, and then there's the water. Luckily, it was just a pool of water starting to, work its way towards the bathroom door and cabinets and everything else, carpet. But no, I got to it in time, and I just stayed of shock, basically, and turned the valve off right at the wall. And I did want to say thanks a lot, Wade, for Victoria. I've been there once in my life when I was a college senior, political science class. Went to some of the government offices there. Victoria is the provincial capital for British Columbia, and I just happened to be there when I think it was Levesque in Quebec had made his infamous speech about breaking away from Canada and becoming their own French colony, or French-speaking country. Let me put it that way. But I'll never forget how beautiful Parliament looked at night when we went for a walk, strolling through. And it was probably an evening like right now, and it was dry and it wasn't too cold, but God, it was just like the fairy princess. It was just spectacular. I'll never forget Victoria for as long as I live, and I will go back. I do have to relate my spider situation that I had, like James was referring to, and they will come back. They will remember. And the way I know that is because when I was going to bed when I lived in Portland, there was a spider on the floor. It was real big, like you're talking about, and I didn't care about little animals when I was younger. I do now. I would never hurt any kind of a living thing ever. But back then, I was trying to squish it with my shoe before I got into bed, and I kept missing, pounding, and he ran into the closet. Once you get in the closet with all your shoes and everything on the floor, I thought, okay, forget about it. So that's fine, except in the middle of the night. Of course, it was in the middle of the night. I was dreaming, and I was dreaming, God, what is this? There's something in I gotta get this out of my ear. And I woke up, and I go, yes, and so I grabbed, there's something in my ear, and I pull out that damn spider crawled into my ear. I'm not kidding you. And so ever since then, I have nothing but respect for spiders. They are smart little animals. With that, K7ZYN, K7ITX, back to that control.
Oh my, that is a hard act to follow. Let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
W7ITL, I think I'm good for this round. I'd like to put maybe one or two comments. That's an amazing story. I'm glad you're home to take care of that. And I'm also going to comment about your water pressure because I have to say, coming from a place where it's like 30 pounds of pressure, and anytime you're getting 70 to 90 pounds of pressure, I'm just super envious because I love high blood pressure in my shower, and I haven't had that probably in 30 years because the last house I had for blood pressure was when I used to live in Everett, and it was an older house, and I probably didn't have a pressure valve on the front of the water main, which I think that's why we don't have a lot of pressure here. That's awesome. All right, well, I'll turn it back to Matt. This is W7ATS.
W7ATS, let's go on to Covington, to Jim, N7QO.
Oh, N7QO. Wade, sorry about that. Pressure restrictors, yeah. I'll tell you, it's frustrating at my house. Probably the single thing that frustrates me the most is on my kitchen sink. It takes like forever just to fill my darn coffee pot. I know there's a restrictor in the line somewhere there. If I could figure out where it is, I might think about removing it, or at least making it a little bit less restrictive. It really takes a while just to fill a darn coffee pot. So I feel for you. Let's see. Well, Dick, chemical warfare once again. If you know that critter's in the closet, there's a fogger. It's like an aerosol can, and on the top of it, it has a little valve which you latch in the open position. Toss that thing in your closet, and make sure you block the bottom of the door of the closet so that the guy can't get out. And you can launder your clothing, but that should do the trick. At least that's my thought. I don't know. If he's munching on your ear, that crosses a line with me. And let's see, Dave, ultraviolet light to kill bugs? Huh. I wonder if that works for critters like mice, raccoons, etc. That gives me a thought. Because I don't have that much trouble with insects around here, but I definitely got problems with four-legged critters. Gotta do something, because you spray them with ant spray and they just look at you. So anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. Let's go on to James and Bellevue, WW7M.
That's one thing I really do enjoy about this net is testing the equipment as well as hearing all of the stories. I'm always a live and let live kind of guy, but I just don't ever let him forget who the landlord is. There was a girl that got trapped in and didn't realize it was in there, and then had to deal with that. And if I had known it was in there, of course I would have figured out a way to get it out, and hopefully would have learned not to go back in there again. But, we were getting really close to the top of Okay, guys, well, looks like my caught up to it tonight, so I'll say good evening to you and good night to all.
WW7N, I think the radio sensors are after you tonight. Cutting them down. Oh my. And getting back to Jim. for those little four-legged creatures, I picked up an ultrasonic device which pulses out ultrasonic sound, and it really got rid of the rats out in my shed that I had. They just don't like that sound, and they went away. And I put out food for them, and they ignored the food. They always wanted to get away from that ultrasonic sound. So I don't know. I haven't tried it on any other bigger animals, but it certainly took care of the rat population in my neighborhood, or my storage shed, I might say. And that's about it from here, from Lake City. This is Dave, 37ZYM. And let's go back up to Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, I have a roach story. We were down in Florida one Christmas time, because we booked Christmas time off, so we went down to Florida and thought, let's go look and see if there's a condo, maybe we'll buy down here or something. So we rented this place. It was like a bed and breakfast, not a bed and breakfast, it was it's like an Airbnb. So someone was renting out their condo. We were 11 floors up in Miami Beach, Florida. Beautiful view, beautiful motel. Beautiful old ornate motel. They had people downstairs, opening doors for you and parking your cars for you. But one night I noticed something scurry across the wall, and it was a roach. And I happened to have a flashlight with me, which is something I usually travel with. So pretty much the rest of it, I'm looking at this thing, trying to make sure it didn't get to us on the bed, and trying to figure out, could I get over to it to kill it? They're very fast. They're scary. And Florida is a place for roaches. It's just kind of warm and steamy down there is what it is. Even at Christmas time, it was 85 degrees in the daytime, and then sometimes it pour down rain at Christmas time. But that's my roach story. I do not like roaches. So KF7UHK.
KF7UHK. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
I don't know, I was in the desert. I had a little cabin down by Mexico, and I'd just taken it over, and so it was still kind of messy, but it was my first night there. And I kept hearing something, and so I finally saw it. And it was huge, though. I mean, this was the size of I don't know, like the size of this mouse, I mean, that you use for a computer. But he was just sitting there, and I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to deal with this guy running around loose while I'm here in this place, getting ready for bed. And so I thought, well, I'll just get him. No, you're not going to just get him. Like Jessica said, he took off. I mean, they're so stinking fast that he just ran under a chair somewhere and disappeared. I never saw him again, and I was just totally bewildered, and so I learned my lesson. Ever leaving to go out of town or shutting the place down, put something on top of all the drains and on the top of the toilet. I can't remember what I did about the toilet. I didn't do anything, but I plugged up all the drains, the bathroom drain, the kitchen drain, the bathroom sink drain, because I was pretty sure that's how they were getting inside. And what a nightmare. So I better let you go, or let myself go. It's down to the wire, and it's been a lot of great stories tonight. K7ZYM, K7ITX, LC73.
K7ITX, then it's time to end the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We'd like to thank the owners and operators of the Seattle Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR, the 147.08. Repeater for voice transmissions for net held on Thursday and Saturday between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is J37 terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.